Monotheism, Tawheed in Islam, the core of faith and the essence of message. Tawheed, the absolute oneness of God, is the true essence and the backbone of the Islamic creed. It is not merely a word uttered by the tongue, but rather a profound truth from which all of the religion's legislations, ethics, and perspectives on the universe and life originate. In its essence, Tawheed means singling out Allah Almighty in worship, lordship, and His names and attributes, along with a firm conviction in the heart that He has no partner in His creation or His command. The divisions of Tawheed in Islam. Scholarly scholars have categorized Tawheed into three integrated dimensions that explain the relationship between humans and their Creator. 1. Tawheed al-Ruboobeeyah, unity of lordship. This is the belief that Allah Almighty is the sole creator, provider, and sustainer of the universe, and that He has no partner in managing this world. Confirming this reality, Allah Almighty says in Surah Az-Zumar, Allah is the creator of all things, and He is, over all things, disposer of affairs. 2. Tawheed al-Ulooheeyah, unity of worship. This is the practical fruit of the unity of lordship. Since Allah alone is the creator and provider, He is therefore the only one worthy of all forms of worship, such as supplication, prayer, vows, and reliance. This was the core message of all prophets.
Chapter 1 on the categories of Tawheed. Literally, Tawheed means unification, making something one, or asserting oneness, and it comes from the Arabic verb wahhada, which itself means to unite, unify, or consolidate. However, when the term Tawheed is used in reference to Allah, i.e. Tawheedullah, it means the realizing and maintaining of Allah's unity in all of man's actions, which directly or indirectly relate to Him. It is the belief that Allah is one, without partner in His dominion and His actions, Ruboobeeyah, one without similitude in His essence and attributes, Asmaa wa Sifaat, and one without rival in His divinity and in worship, Ulooheeyah or Ebaadah. These three aspects form the basis for the categories into which the science of Tawheed has been traditionally divided. The three overlap and are inseparable to such a degree that whoever omits any one aspect has failed to complete the requirements of Tawheed. The omission of any of the above-mentioned aspects of Tawheed is referred to as Shirk, literally sharing, the association of partners with Allah, which in Islamic terms is in fact idolatry.
The three categories of Tawheed are commonly referred to by the following titles: Tawheed al-Ruboobeeyah, literal maintaining the unity of lordship; Tawheed al-Asmaa wa Sifaat, literal maintaining the unity of Allah's names and attributes; Tawheed al-Ebaadah, literal maintaining the unity of Allah's worship. 3. The division of Tawheed into its components was not done by the Prophet ﷺ, nor by his companions, as there was no necessity to analyze such a basic principle of faith in this fashion. However, the foundations of the components are all implied in the verses of the Quran and in the explanatory statements of the Prophet and his companions, as will become apparent to the reader when each category is dealt with in more detail later in this chapter. The necessity for this analytical approach to the principle of Tawheed arose after Islam spread into Egypt, Byzantium, Persia, and India, and absorbed the cultures of these regions. It is only natural to expect that when the peoples of these lands entered the fold of Islam, they would carry with them some of the remnants of their former beliefs. When some of these new converts began to express in writings and discussions their various philosophical concepts of God, confusion arose in which the pure and simple Unitarian belief of Islam became threatened. There were also others who had outwardly accepted Islam but secretly worked to destroy the religion from within due to their inability to oppose it militarily. This group began to actively propagate distorted ideas about Allah among the masses in order to tear down the first pillar of Iman, faith, and with it, Islam itself.
Tawheed al-Ruboobeeyah, maintaining the unity of lordship. This category is based on the fundamental concept that Allah alone caused all things to exist when there was nothing. He sustains and maintains creation without any need from it or for it. And He is the sole Lord of the universe and its inhabitants, without any real challenge to His sovereignty. In Arabic, the word used to describe this creator-sustainer quality is Ruboobeeyah, which is derived from the root Rab, Lord. According to this category, since God is the only real power in existence, it is He who gave all things the power to move and to change. Nothing happens in creation except what He allows to happen. In recognition of this reality, Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam used to often repeat the exclamatory phrase, La hawla wa la quwwata illa billah. There is no movement nor power except by Allah's will.
Apparently evil events in human lives sometimes turn out to be for the best, and apparently good things which people desire turn out to be harmful. Consequently, man's realm of influence in the course of events which make up his life is limited to the mental choice between options presented to him and not the actual results of his choice. In other words, man proposes and God disposes. Apparent good fortune and misfortune are both from Allah and cannot be caused by good luck charms such as rabbit's feet, four-leaf clovers, wishbones, lucky numbers, zodiacal signs, etc., or by omens of bad luck like Friday the 13th, breaking mirrors, black cats, etc. In fact, the belief in charms and omens is a manifestation of the grave sin of Shirk, association, in this form of Tawheed. Uqba, one of the companions of the Prophet, reported that once a group of men approached Allah's messenger to give their allegiance to him, and he accepted the oath from 9 of them, but refused to accept it from 1. When they asked him why he refused their companion's oath, he replied, Verily, he is wearing an amulet. The man who was wearing the amulet put his hand in his cloak, pulled the amulet off, and broke it, then made the oath. The Prophet then said, Whoever wears an amulet has committed shirk.
Tawheed al-Asmaa wa Sifaat, maintaining the unity of Allah's names and attributes. This category of Tawheed has 5 main aspects. First, for the unity of Allah's names and attributes to be maintained in the first aspect, Allah must be referred to according to how He and His Prophet, peace and blessings be upon him, have described Him, without explaining away His names and attributes by giving them meanings other than their obvious meanings. For example, Allah in the Quran says He gets angry with the disbelievers and the hypocrites. He says that He may punish the hypocrites, men and women, and the pagans, men and women, who have an evil opinion of Allah. A circle of evil is around them. Allah is angry with them, curses them, and has prepared for them an evil end. The second aspect of Tawheed al-Asmaa wa Sifaat involves referring to Allah as He has referred to Himself, without giving Him any new names or attributes. For example, Allah may not be given the name Al-Ghadib, the angry one, in spite of the fact that He has said that He gets angry, because neither Allah nor His messenger has used this name. This may seem to be a very fine point, but it must be maintained in order to prevent the false description of God. That is, finite man is in no position to define the infinite Lord of creation. 3. In the third aspect of Tawheed al-Asmaa wa Sifaat, Allah is referred to without giving Him the attributes of His creation. For example, it is claimed in the Bible and Torah that Allah spent the first 6 days creating the universe, then slept on the 7th. For this reason, Jews and Christians take either Saturday or Sunday as a day of rest in which work is looked at as a sin. Such a claim assigns to God the attributes of His creation. It is man who tires after heavy work and needs sleep to recuperate. Elsewhere in the Bible and Torah, God is portrayed as repenting for His bad thoughts in the same way that humans do when they realize their errors. Similarly, the claim that God is a spirit or has a spirit completely ruins this area of Tawheed. Allah does not refer to Himself as a spirit anywhere in the Quran, nor does His Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam express anything of that nature in Hadith. In fact, Allah refers to the spirit as part of His creation. The key principle which should be followed when dealing with Allah's attributes
is the Quranic formula. There is nothing like him, and he is hearer and seer of all.
Tawheed al-Ebaadah, maintaining the unity of worship. In spite of the wide implications of the first two categories of Tawheed, firm belief in them alone is not sufficient to fulfill the Islamic requirements of Tawheed. Tawheed al-Ruboobeeyah and Tawheed al-Asmaa wa Sifaat must be accompanied by their complement, Tawheed al-Ebaadah, in order for Tawheed to be considered complete according to Islam. This point is substantiated by the fact that Allah himself has related in clear terms that the mushrikun, idolaters, of the Prophet's time confirmed many aspects of the first two forms of Tawheed. In the Quran, Allah tells the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam to say to the pagans, "Say, who is it that gives you all sustenance from the sky and earth, governs sight and hearing, brings forth life from dead matter and death from the living, and plans the affairs of man?" They will all say Allah. If you ask them who created them, they would surely say Allah. If you ask them who brings down water from the sky and with it brings the earth to life after its death, they will most certainly say Allah.